Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. You all know that I'm not on board with any government official. There isn't really anything that they could ever do, but Trump does say a lot of things that, are on my radar and exactly how I feel about certain topics, certain communities, certain types of people. I think that he pretty much says it all, and he wraps it up pretty well in all of this. Let me be clear. I do not support the government. I do not support Donald Trump. However, I do support what he's saying right here, right now.
I plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with
So if I ever need to film
without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new.
Or even with the parent's consent. If a parent's giving consent, then that isn't a healthy parent. Just putting that out there as well.
And it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender.
Amen.
A concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
So Donald Trump claims that under his leadership, this will end. Well, let me say that it'll never end, folks. This can never end because people don't understand the concept of this. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, Bible Hub. People do not understand this concept. This God Elohim that created a man in his own image. This God created a man in his own image. In his image of God. In an image of God. This God Elohim created himself. A male and female. This is a transgender energy force. This is why you have millions and millions of people that think that they are gay, because there is an entity, an energy force that controls you. It's that simple. Swallow the pill and you'll be able to see it and understand it. Without it, you're never going to get it. You're going to go on being an abomination. Anybody who takes their life force, which is their seed, which is their semen, which is the serpent, the seed is the serpent, then you are spewing something inside of the backside of another person's rear end, then that is not the natural course of life. It's what Satan wants from us anyways. But I want everybody to have a blessed day. I got to get off and get things ready this morning myself. This is White Raptor News Ministries.